Welcome to My Favorite Bitch, where we talk openly about the good, the bad, and the oh my fucking god ugly of raising dogs, and sometimes other non-canine pets, including the human ones. We might talk about poop, and we might swear, so fair warning. Thanks for joining the pack. Now let's get this ball rolling. For a game of fetch, of course. Hey everybody, welcome to My Favorite Bitch, the podcast where we share honest tales about the good, the bad, and the sweet baby Jesus ugly of raising dogs and other pets. And we'll talk about our humans sometimes too. We do swear and we do talk about poop, so fair warning. How is everybody doing? I am sitting here recovering. If I sound a little nasally, I'm recovering from the COVID. Yes, the big C finally came to the Campbell household last week. Still kind of in recovery. Wasn't too bad. I'm eternally grateful that I was vaccinated and boosted because I can't imagine it's been in its worst, and this has been about 5 or 6 days now. It was like a moderately severe cold. So I can only imagine if I had not had the vaccine and the booster, what it would have been like. There were a couple days where it was I was pretty sapped. I did manage to take Moxie out for her morning walk every single day, although a couple of days we did kind of cut it a little short. Just, you got to rest up a little bit. And if I don't do it, nobody will. So, and she'll be a terror for the rest of the day. But yeah, I'm recovering. It's been an interesting thing. Yeah, so everybody take care of yourself and get yourself vaccinated and boosted, please. Before I move on to today's topic, which is I'm going to talk about Moxie's spay experience. I want to let you know that we've got a couple of upcoming canine convos that we're getting ready to record. I've got Liz Boswell coming on. She's going to talk about her dog Pablo, or maybe it's Pablo. I'm not sure how she pronounces it, but I'm so excited to be talking with Liz. She's been one of my connections for a while now, and this will actually be our first in-person conversation, and I'm very excited. And then I also have, we're going to be recording a podcast, another canine convo with Linda Bolin. Linda, back in the day was a pet sitter for my previous dogs. And so she's got a business going of her own, very much into her pets and has had a lot of pets. So I'm very excited to talk to both of these women, really excited. So some good canine combos coming up. I've got a couple of more people lined up too, hoping to get them scheduled soon. So anyway, so today's topic, we're going to talk a little bit about Moxie's spaying, right? So again, I am not a vet. I'm not an expert. I'm just going to talk about the experience that I've had. And if you hear anything in the background, I apologize. My dog is currently chewing on a box that I have sitting in my office. So Moxie got spayed about 10 days ago. And she was just a little over 6 months. So I know there's a lot of discussion, debate about when to get your dog spayed or neutered. And I'm not here to push you one way or another. That is a personal choice. There's one school of thought that says you should wait until your female dog goes into heat once. And there are apparently some benefits of that. But there is another school of thought that says there's not much advantage to that. And the important thing is to get your dog spayed or neutered. And that's kind of where I fall. I really did not want her to wait. There are some daycares that won't let her in if she's not spayed. So that was kind of a big driver for us. But we've always spayed or neutered our dogs fairly young. I think 4 to 6 months, and they've been fine. So we opted to go with the younger. And the important thing is we got it done. Surgery went really well. Now, if you didn't know, if you haven't listened to any previous episodes, I should let you know that Moxie is a Labrador Retriever. So one of the important things about post-surgery, any surgery recovery, is keeping your dog calm and not jumping. So the rule was for a full 7 days, no activity, no jumping, no excitement, no fetch, no tug. She can walk. They actually encourage walking, so that was good. That was a godsend that we could actually walk her. But pretty much any jumping, stretching type of activity, no swimming, right? We have a swimming pool. That's a 2-weeker, right? So she's still banned from the swimming pool. But anybody who's ever had a high energy dog knows when they tell you no activity for 7 to 10 days, you can imagine like the horror that goes through your mind thinking, how in the fuck am I going to make that happen? It's difficult. Plus, she's going to be wearing the cone of shame, and she wore the cone of shame. So, fortunately, there are some great medications out there, and we opted to go with one of them. We had a medication, and I think it was called Trazadone. I'm probably getting it wrong. It's actually an anti-anxiety medication. It's given to dogs often. And it does also have a very mild sedative effect. So we opted to get that. So she was on 3 days of pain meds and then 7 days of the anti-anxiety / mild sedation. I will tell you, I could hardly even notice the quote mild sedation. I mean, it did make her she probably slept a little bit longer, and it probably did calm her down a little bit. But it wasn't like she was lethargic. So if anybody's worried about, oh, my dog's going to be just laying around, trust me. I mean, I guess every dog's different, but my dog was most definitely not lethargic. I posted a video on Instagram 2 days after her surgery. And she was, I mean, it was all I could do to keep her from not shaking her teddy bear. She was doing her tug and shake. It's a Labrador kind of a thing. So she definitely was recovered very well. So she had her surgery on a Friday, and really, so she had her meds only through really Monday, her pain meds. And it's amazing to me the resilience of dogs, because if I just had basically a hysterectomy, I'm going to be on pain meds probably for about 2 to 3 weeks. But 3 days and she was done, and she really didn't it didn't really seem to bother her a whole lot. I mean, she was wearing the cone. We wore the cone of shame at night because it's a little easier to sleep. But when we took her for walks, we had the donut we got on Amazon. It basically looks like a big bagel or a big donut, and you Velcro it around their neck. And it keeps them from being able to access the surgical site and lick it or scratch it. So she wore that during the day when we went for our walks, but when she slept, like for naps and overnight, she wore the cone of shame because it's just a little easier to sleep on. And she took to that very well. She was just such a trooper. I mean, I'm sure she wasn't super happy with it, but it was very quickly that she adjusted, and she was awesome. This is the amazing things about dogs, really, is because dogs and kids, right? It's like, okay, I got to wear a mask. Okay, fine. I got to wear the cone of shame. Okay, fine. I don't like it, but I'm going to just adjust. And as long as you're feeding me and giving me love, that's a great thing about labs too. So, so she was on the pain meds for 3 days. And then I thought, okay, once the pain meds are gone, it's going to start bothering her. Nope, not really. She really didn't go after her stuff much at all. About the 5th day, overnight, one night, the cone somehow came off. I don't know how, because they use like NASA level Velcro on those things. But somehow it came off, and she was fine. She hadn't been licking her wounds. And so we kind of played it by ear by then. And again, I'm not recommending that you don't follow your vet's instructions to wear the cone for I think it was 10 to 14 days. But I'm just saying that this is our experience. It came off. And so we just sort of, we were home during the day. I was off. I'm between jobs right now, whole other story. So I was very fortunate to have the time off. My husband was actually off a lot too, because he had taken a couple of vacation days. So we watched her very, very closely, and if she started to pay some attention to the wound, we were going to put the cone back on, but she really didn't. She really it healed very quickly, and it didn't seem to give her much bother. So that was cool. We did walk every day. So this was a new thing for me. My last dogs, it was basically restrict all activity, but now they do encourage leash walking. Nothing major, but I even asked, should I limit the time? And they said, no, just keep her, calm walking. You don't want her jumpy walking. So we walked every day, and that was, again, a godsend because it really did help her. I think the walking also is just a little bit of emotion. It helps probably break up the scar tissue a little bit. And she did great. She was a little lethargic after the anesthesia for about 24 hours, but really, within 36 hours, she was kind of back to her kind of her spirit, right? Her personality was back. And so we did do a lot of walking, and that was good for me too. And essentially, and so right now we're at about 10 days, and she's doing great. Her scar is healed wonderfully. There's a little teeny tiny bit of swelling, but I think that's just normal. She really hasn't been paying attention to it. It's not bothering her at all. And now she's protected. She's not going to have any unwanted babies. She'll be protected better from some certain types of cancer. So I'm excited. So we're through the spay, and honestly, I really, on day one, I just thought this is going to be such a long journey, and it's going to be such a headache and a pain. But now here we are on the other side. It does go quickly. So for those of you who are facing this, it's such a common surgery. Hundreds of thousands, probably millions of dogs go through this every year. It's the right thing to do. If you're not a legit breeder, and I say legit, right? Don't be a backyard puppy mill breeder. Get your dog spayed or neutered. Get your pets spayed or neutered, please. There's an overpopulation. I still follow a lot of rescue sites. And they're just overloaded, people. They're just overloaded. And a lot of that is dogs having babies when they shouldn't be having babies. So get your pet spayed or neutered, please. And everything will be great, and it'll be better for the world, and you'll get over it very quickly. And don't forget to ask for those pain meds. Those are not the pain meds, the anti-anxiety meds. I'm telling you, when my vet looked me in the eye and said, "You're gonna love these," that's when I was like, "Yep, sign me up. Please give them to me right now." So, and I do think that they did help, but we're over those now, back to normal, and still on the very tail end of our healing, but going well. So I hope that your spay and neuters go very well, and quickly. And thank you for doing that. So thanks for listening today. I just wanted to share that with Moxie as I'm sitting here recovering from the Rona. And again, look forward to a couple of canine convos coming up on the show. And if you have a pet, especially a dog or dogs, and or some interesting pet, Jackie, you know who you are. I'm talking to you. I'm going to be reaching out to you soon about your snake. Give me a DM. I'll listen to the credits in the show, and it'll tell you how you can get in touch with me. And let me know if you are interested in coming on the show, because I want to talk to lots of people about their experiences with their dogs. All right, everybody, now go play fetch or take a nap in a warm spot, and certainly take it easy. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for joining My Favorite Bitch, where we don't hold back about what it's like to raise that little fucker of a pet. We hope you had fun. I'm your host, Beth Ann Campbell, and you can reach me on Instagram or Facebook as TheBean67, that's TheBeann 67, and also on Instagram as Moxie Blue Yule. That's my dog's site, she insisted. I'm also on LinkedIn as Beth Ann Campbell, that's Ann with an E, and check out my YouTube channel, Beth Ann Campbell, where you can find this podcast and other fun videos on the playlist My Favorite Bitch. Remember, we are not trained dog professionals in any way, so please consult the real experts and do your research on anything you hear on this program. We barely know what we're doing. Now go give your pet some snuggles, and we'll catch you after a good nap and some tasty treats. My Favorite Bitch is produced by Beth Ann Campbell and is a product of Beth Ann Campbell, LLC, all rights reserved. Go fetch Moxie. Good girl.